Opening up comms channel. News incoming! Hello Space Monkey, you're watching Space Crazy. Welcome to the channel and to a regular news roundup. Here you'll find news around any kind of science fiction game, especially if it has to do with space. If something happened last week in your favorite SF game and we missed it, be sure to tell us in the comments and we'll add the game to our list. My name is Sarta and I will be your host for this video. There's a lot going on in our neck of the games woods and it's difficult for anybody to keep everything inside. We plan to publish this kind of video every week as long as there's something newsworthy to tell, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and choose the all bell to not miss any news. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 released their first paid DLC this week with 10 scenario maps, among them one where you just have a Titan and no homeworld. Along with this DLC, they also released an update to their 1.4 version they've dubbed Total Subjugation, with population mechanics which are mostly concentrated on how much of the culture of the civilizations permeates the different populations, which seems to work similarly to what humanity did in their game. There's also new units, new planet types, new abilities and a complete new rebalance of all aspects of the game, from research costs to unit durability to anything else, so you may need to relearn the game all over again. This means your save games won't work anymore with a new version. All the details of the rebalance can be found following the link in a description. Also, the team behind the game have improved or added graphics, like adding Vasari space elevators, changed the user interface a bit, and a lot of changes to improve mod support. Empyrion had an update last week, raising the version to 1.12, adding a 5-part story mission to the UHC faction as well as the event Hekaton Cup race in the Arcania system, which seemingly you can do as often as you want. Moving on to the building side of the game, you can now repair blocks on bases and capital vessels to their maximum hit points as long as they are not under attack. There's been new blocks added like energy walkways, NPC spanners and others. Speaking of structures, you can now transfer ownership of any structure you own to another player, and even faction structures if you are an admin in that faction. New playfields, new terrain stamps and changes to the guided tutorial as well as many other fixes and tweaks make this the biggest update in Empyrion in a long while, I'd say. Note that many of these updates will only take effect in a completely new save game, which is a bummer, but them's the ropes. No Man's Sky is introducing a new enhancement to the game in what they call relics. From now on, you will be able to find the skeletons of species that lived in the planets you visit, put them together like a scientist and display them in your base. And you will be able to sell the most uncommon of these remains in a space station. As is almost tradition, No Man's Sky brings out a new community expedition for you to find remains all over the multiverse. But be careful, as these remains are carefully watched by dangerous artifact creatures. The team around Space Engineers 2 are sharing their newest addition to the in-progress development of the game with flora, wind animations and better graphics. Warp Space, while still only playable as demo, has updated once again, bringing a new story element and lots of bug fixes. It makes beacons persistent, tells you when tools are in need of a recharge, and has updated the quality of the audio. Astrobotanica will start their Kickstarter drive next Tuesday, and those who participate will get access to the alpha version of the game. The Kickstarter is the first step of their roadmap towards an early access version at the end of this year. In their Kickstarter page, they also describe where they plan to go with this survival and exploration game. See the link to their Kickstarter in our description. Dune Awakening is now open to pre-order with some cute digital rewards like a terrarium for a Muad'Dib, but also the usual drivel of not really interesting other content. If you ask me, pre-ordering is not worth a penny. Kinda pun, kinda intended. But it seems I'm in the minority here, or else companies would not offer it. Helldivers 2 released a new warband called Borderline Justice with upgrades inspired by the Western genre, like a hunting rifle that looks very much like a classic Western movie Winchester, and a revolver that is energy based and doesn't overheat as long as you treat it carefully. And instead of grenades, you will be throwing dynamite that explodes after its timer reaches 0. Added to that, you'll get a hover pack that not only lets you jump, but also lets you hover for a short while you, for example, take aim. The obligatory armor is of course also part of the warband, of which the GS66 armor is especially interesting if you are longing for the western-y look, as it brings a holster for your revolver as well as a bandolier. Most especially interesting for some of you is the title of Super Sheriff you can now choose to use, as well as the tip of the hat emote. Together with the release of the warband also came 2 updates, reducing the spread of many a primary weapon and overall rebalancing a ton and a half of weapons, nerfing some, buffing others up, you know how it is. Also, those bots are now less mindful of the collective and don't get distracted as much. Unluckily, their airdrop ships have enhanced hulls and are not as easy to destroy as they were until now. Making up for that, the tank turret now also has weak spots at the front. A lot of game crashes have been corrected and hopefully eliminated, as well as a myriad more or less unnerving bugs. We mean software bugs. The others are for you to eliminate.